Really, for him to finish on the starting grid in Junior X30, of course, he's in 34th position. And let's say, for argument's sake, rather than wishing anything on him, let's go for argument's sake and state that if he were to retire on the first lap of the race, or be the first retirement of the race, then he would only come through in 34th position, and that would give him 24 points. If Axel Laflamme were to go on to win the race, that's the best case scenario for Axel Laflamme, then Caden McQueen would win the title still by 2 points, so it's not quite been enough in actual fact. So only an exclusion now from the last race of the season. We'll see Caden McQueen lose that title fight. We'll focus on that a little bit later. There are 2 races to go tonight, and the first of those is the Honda Cadet finale. The Honda Cadet drivers will go out for one final race, and then the X30 Junior title will almost certainly be crowned by Caden McQueen. The only way he'll lose it is an exclusion, so he may not even start the race. He may just want to stay in position. Well, actually, he does need to start the race to score the final points. But even so, he doesn't really need to panic too much about where he finishes. He still needs to go out there and get the job done, because a 0 score will not be enough. Well, what a fantastic season it has been. In fact, actually, Caden McQueen doesn't need to start the race. I've just done the math, and Axel Laflamme's victory would still not be enough for Caden McQueen. So, as far as he's concerned, he is the champion. He just needs to go out there and have fun. But the Honda Cadets, we already know are Whilton Mill Karting Club champion. We knew that at the start of the day, with Theo Makuris claiming the title based on the fact that his close rival Dan Ginchard had opted to go up to Junior X30 for his, for his first Junior X30 British meeting here at the Whilton Mill Kart Club. So now the Honda Cadets will finish off in fine style with Kian Berta on the pole position, along with Ethan Simmons in the mix there as well. Theo Makuris, sorry, it's Ethan Simmons who'll be on pole position, my apologies. Ethan Simmons and Kian Berta, and then of course it would be, no, I was right the first time. So, can't remember which side of the grid it is. Kian Berta and Ethan Simmons, and then of course it would have been third position for Dan Parent-Smith, and then Theo Makuris. A really exciting end to the season then for Honda Cadet, who'll play around the Whilton Mill Karting Club circuit for just one final time. And it's going to be a really pleasant end to the season for Honda Cadet. We've had a great year in the championship with so many star quality drivers making their way around the circuit. But for Honda Cadet, it's going to be a really pleasant end to the season. We've seen some good drives tonight, and all the way through the day, of course, as well. Dan Parent-Smith fighting his corner whenever it was humanly possible. Kian Berta has been a really shrewd operator for most of the day. And, of course, Ethan Simmons really turning a corner in terms of his development over the course of this weekend, and really showing himself to be a potential champion in the future. Oh, and that's a moment, unfortunately, before the race has even got started. That is Henry Jocelyn. So Henry Jocelyn has had a bit of a moment. So hopefully there's going to be a little bit more action to conclude the season from the Honda Cadets. Massive compliment from Simon Kidd, a massive thank you there. He says apparently the commentary is as great as ever. Goodbye. Thank you, Simon. I cannot give any more compliments to... I cannot take any more compliments other than the fact that it's amazing fun, and I wouldn't be doing any other job if you paid me. Absolutely brilliant, this. And great to see that these Honda Cadets are going to finish off the season in fine style once again. But it is going to be Kian Berta and Ethan Simmons from the front of the grid, and they're going to be quite difficult guys to beat. But if anybody can, the GP plate Theo Makuris can. From that second row of the starting grid. It's fascinating to watch the standing start from Honda Cadet under the floodlights, Abu Dhabi style, here at Whilton Mill Kart Club. The last Honda Cadet race of the season. Oh, somebody's in trouble. That's the 83 in trouble there with a hand in the air. That's Alfie Richards. And that's because his kart is not quite in position. Hang on a minute. Looks as though somebody's... I think everybody's basically missed Alfie Richards in position, and now they've spotted him. And it looks to me as though Brandon Bick, it looks like Bradley Bick, 39, has gone out onto the circuit. I'm not sure he's been able to take the start. I wonder if he thought that perhaps he could get the start of the race his way because of the previous B final performance, but I guess he's not going to be allowed to start the race. It's a very strange scenario there, but the race is underway now. And it's a cracking start from the front of the field. No problems at all for Cian Berta. Ethan Simmons slotting into second position. They charge their way forward. And they slot their way through. Up to the hill once again. Theo McCurris has slotted into third position in front of Dan Parent-Smith as they charge up to Christmas for the first time. Theo McCurris has got a little bit of a shunt in the back there from somebody. Couldn't quite see who that is in the dark, but it's ended up costing him a little bit dear. I think that was a missed braking point for somebody in the mix there. I wonder if that was Mitchell Gibbons just trying to get closer to the back of Theo McCurris and then just missing his braking point by a metre, and a couple of drivers off the road and a spin in the middle of the field. That is again the 76 of Hayden Eldridge. He had a problem right at the start of the day, if you remember, but he's now got himself back into position at the tail end of the field. So he has continued on, and that's a good defensive move from Simmons to try and hold off the attentions of Dan Parent-Smith. McCurris is still there in P4. Arguably the best four drivers in this field, in the best four positions of the race. Cian Berta, Ethan Simmons, Dan Parent-Smith and Theo McCurris. Mitchell Gibbons, Antonio Sofronio next from Oscar Toyton and Leo Brown. Then Jaden Gregg and Aston McAndrew-Uren. Oliver Stilt, Freddie Lloyd. Lewis is then and Seagull Hopkins-Collis. And it's the braking zone for the hairpin at Christmas, and that could be Dan Parent-Smith trying to find his way through. He has to try and cover the line to protect from Theo McCurris. Nothing wrong with a bit of night racing. Absolutely love it. Kelvin Sugarimbo shares my thoughts. Up towards Wilkins once again, into the left-hander. Back down the drop. And up towards Oziers. Oh, a bit of a moment for Mitchell Gibbons. I thought he'd gone straight off the circuit there, just ran a little tiny bit wide. But now they come back onto the throttle once again. And up into the braking zone for the boot. Really good run this from Cian Berta. He drops down the hill once again and into the ankle. To the heel of the boot. Oh, and that's a nice move from Jaden Gregg as he just pops up on the inside there of Oscar Toyton. So very good move there from Jaden Gregg. That's not an easy one to pull off at the top of the toe. But he manages to get that one done, and that's Freddie Lloyd on the move as well, on the inside of Oliver Stilt by the look of it. Here comes McCurris, going to try and make his bid on Dan Parent-Smith. Third position, nicely done from Theo McCurris. The GP plate running well. It's an important skill to get right this, the night racing element of karting. Only at this time of night will you get this opportunity, only at this time of the season will you get to run this late and this dark on a normal everyday meeting. So it's worth getting into these grids just so that you can experience this. It's only 5:07 in the evening, of course, so pitch black. Only in November would you get this kind of experience, and if you want to go to Le Mans, you've got to learn how to do this. So Theo McCurris there in third position. Cian Berta in first, second place for Ethan Simmons, third place for Theo McCurris, fourth position Dan Parent-Smith. As they run through once again, that is Gibbons in fifth, Sofronio in sixth position. Then it is Jaden Gregg in front of Oscar Toyton. Then it is Leo Brown and Freddie Lloyd, just having got past Aston McAndrew-Uren. So through the top of the hill, and now getting themselves up on the far side, through the kink at Inkermans. And this could be an opportunity for Dan Parent-Smith. As they come through the top end of the corner. Cian Berta just looking over his shoulder to see where Ethan Simmons is. Simmons there in second position, dealing from McCurris, and McCurris dives up the inside of Simmons and gets through. Nice overtaking move into Oziers there from Theo McCurris as he gets through, and now Dan Parent-Smith tightening up his opportunity as they come into the toe of the boot, through the top of the apex and back down the drop once again. A really good run this from Theo McCurris as he now tucks his way into the first corner. A really good battle, a really good run. Very indicative of what these guys are really capable of. But Theo McCurris running well up at the front end of the field here in second position. Now trying to challenge to go for Cian Berta. Is there going to be a chance? Is he going to get his opportunity? They top up over the top of the curb and up towards Ashby. Into the hairpin again. McCurris right in behind Cian Berta. Is there going to be that move to come through? Not yet. Bide your time. Pick your moment. Still plenty of time to go as they go into the hairpin at the bottom end of the circuit. And now down the back straight, out of Oziers and up towards the boot once again. McCurris just biding his time, waiting for his moment. Track limits warning for Fraser Oram. Not sure what's happened there. He's just outside the top 20, still pushing hard. You've got to keep going. And still the battle going well as the new champion for 2018, Theo Makuris, is onto the back of Kian Berta, trying to get himself into first position. Very similar to Piers Pryor, having already clinched the Whilton Mill title. He wants to end the season on the top spot, and that's a moment for the 40 into the barriers. That's Freddie Lloyd. So Freddie Lloyd has had a moment in the final corner that could end up bringing out the Battenbergs, because that's a dangerous point on the circuit, of course, the final corner. Oh, and off goes Dan Parrott-Smith. Dan Parrott-Smith off the road there and rejoins in fourth position. So are we going to get a Battenberg flag because of that incident? Oh, Freddie Lloyd's got going again. He looks more frustrated than he does in anguish. So Freddie Lloyd continues. Oh, and we've had an off. We've had an off on the way up towards Ashby. There's a spin there. Not entirely sure who that is. We'll have to double check and figure it out as they get going again. But it's Berta Makuris and Ethan Simmons there in position. Parrott-Smith in fourth, Gibbons in fifth, and Sofronio in sixth position. Getting some pressure from Jaden Gregg. I didn't see who it was that spun, unfortunately. I think it might have been either Aston McAndrew Urin or Oliver Stilt, because those two have had a bit of a slow middle sector, and they've dropped down the order. So two of those guys in trouble. Freddie Lloyd, we know, has obviously come through right down the back of the field after his trip into the barriers on the final corner. Some good moves in the mid-pack. These drivers are still jockeying for position. They still want to finish this season as high up the order as they possibly can. Mitchell Gibbons under some pressure from Antonis Sofronio, I think that is. Is that them still in position? No, we're a bit further down the field than that, actually. My apologies. We're watching Spencer Bropham battling away with Lewis Islin. And now Berta has Theo Makuris right underneath him. Here comes the opportunity. Theo Makuris through Crook and up towards Fine Lady. Back on the power up to Manuel's Bank. Makuris just picking his moment. He's not going to do anything silly at this point. He just wants to get the overtaking move, but he knows that there's plenty of time to get it. And at a move in the final turn, a spin for Reece Lomax. So Lomax gets going again. That's a real shame. He had a heat win pretty much in his pocket at one stage over the course of the day. So very sad for Reece Lomax not to get that victory he was after. Had to have a spin in the last race of the season. But he does keep going in 19th place in front of the leading novice, Johan Kalachurn, who is going to come home in the Honda Cadet as the top novice, and rightly so. Johan's done a very good job all day in what's been a very tricky meeting. Very cold, very slippery with the greasy conditions. A tough day of testing yesterday, and it's not easy to be a novice, especially at club level when you're getting started in motor racing really for the first time. Oh, and that's an off. Now, who is that that's gone? That is the 46, I think that was, that's gone. That is Liam Dorman. So Liam Dorman has got himself going again. And still, Kian Berta and Theo Makuris battling away for the victory. Makuris is not going to let this one lie. They're on the penultimate lap. Berta's going to defend a little bit too soon, perhaps. That's going to give Makuris an invitation to go for the victory. Berta is absolutely determined. I'm not going to lose this race. Makuris is just biding his time and waiting for his moment. You're almost inviting an overtake by being too cautious, too defensive. But Berta is hanging on in there for Makuris. Makuris is just going to wait for his moment. He's going to back out of the throttle, get back on the power, build up the momentum. Berta's going to cover the inside line. Makuris is going to get a smoother run up towards the first corner. We go into the last lap. Berta still moving to cover the inside line, and he ends up squeezing Makuris too much. Ooh, Kian, careful, mate. Dear, oh dear. That could have ended up very nasty. You need to make sure you're leaving enough room for the guy behind. You don't know how far alongside you'd have gone, mate. So Kian Berta has got Theo Makuris right in behind him. Makuris is going to try for the move. Berta's going to move out to cover. Oh, he's hit him! He's hit him trying to defend! And across the grass he's going to go Makuris. Berta has chopped him across, and Makuris will be absolutely fuming. So Berta is going to continue on in the lead. I want to see that one again after the race, because that looked to me as though he was just being too defensive. And that's cost Makuris any hope of victory. But it could cost Berta. They could decide that was too aggressive a move. So Simmons, get yourself ready for a trophy on the top step of the podium. It might happen. Berta is going to cross the line on the road in first position. So Berta takes what he believes is the victory. Simmons thinks he's won it now. So Simmons comes through in front of Dan Parrott-Smith. Makuris is fourth, Gibbons is fifth, and Gregg is sixth. But I don't think that's going to be the final result. We've got to look back on this incident again, because Berta, he was being so ultra defensive on Makuris. The thing is, he panicked a little bit. He hit the panic button, and that is where he ended up losing ground big time. He just got too aggressive on defence on Theo Makuris. A very frustrated Hayden Eldridge coming through at the end of his race. Let's watch again. So Berta, this is the last lap of the race. So look, he's made this move. Makuris has gone the other way. And Berta, look, has chopped across Makuris a little bit too aggressively there. Now watch, because here comes the move from Makuris. He goes across, and Berta, look, he's just panicked. He's just hit the panic button. And unfortunately, that is advantage by contact. You can't really argue with that one. Did I get first position? Says Kian Berta. Do I get first? Do I keep it? Well, for the moment, the answer is yes. But I have a feeling that's going to be investigated. So Ethan Simmons and Dan Parent-Smith continue on. Well, Theo Makuris is not going to be happy about that. Nor are many people, I think, watching that particular incident. But an absolutely fantastic end to the season for Ethan Simmons, finishing up second. It could even be first. Rob Turnbull watching at home. Well done, buddy. Yeah, a brilliant race to end his season. He could well have won it. It all depends on what the stewards decide about the Kian Berta Theo Makuris contact on the final lap. But Simmons second on the road. Dan Parent-Smith third. Well, just one race left of 2018, and that is the Junior X30 final here at Whilton Mill. The champion has got 99.9% of the job done in Caden McQueen. In terms of points scored today, even if Axel Laflamme were to win and Caden McQueen were not to start the race, Axel Laflamme would still not quite score enough points to win. So as far as Caden McQueen is concerned, starting from the pole position, he just needs to stay out of trouble. He doesn't even need to win the race. He's going to start the race from pole position. He's not one of those people who will just sit on the sidelines and wait. He's just going to go out there and have fun. But as long as he doesn't get himself into a position where he could get excluded from the meeting, he's going to be all right. A fantastic performance. Just looking through the results of that last race, and Kay Islin has made a very good point about young Lewis. His first race at Whilton, and he didn't expect that. They didn't expect that result, considering that Lewis Islin finished the race in 11th position, and it could even be top 10 if penalties come into account. Not bad from young Lewis Islin. Very good point there. Well made. So the last race of the season in the Whilton Mill Kart Club, and it's Junior X30 in what's been a really solid season for Junior X30 at Whilton Mill. Anthony wishing Will Ellswood good luck. It's been a really solid weekend for Will Ellswood, actually, to be at the sharp end. But now it's time to seal the title in good style for Caden McQueen. He starts from pole position. In terms of the points Axel Laflamme can score today, he can't overtake Caden McQueen's tally. So it's all but one for Caden McQueen. The only thing that can take it from him now is an exclusion from the meeting, and that is not the Caden McQueen we know. So hopefully it is all going to be fairly straightforward. He's gone out onto the circuit, but I don't see him on the front row of the grid. Do you? That's Joe Taylor and Axel Laflamme. So what's happened to Caden McQueen? Is he going to start from the front of the grid, or have I misread the situation a tad? So there's a couple of drivers with a little bit of a nudge or two. It looks like we're going to get a clean start regardless. Okay, I don't understand, but there we go. Joe Taylor leads it. Josh Rowledge in second position. It looks like Caden McQueen has decided to, well, whether he's, I don't understand really. I don't get it. I don't know where Caden McQueen's gone. But anyway, Joe Taylor leads the race as they come through. Caden McQueen's in the middle of the pack by the look of it. So he's not had a great start, either that or he failed to start from the pit lane initially. And then, oh, there's a spin in the middle of the pack. That's Dan Ginchard. Ginchard has been squeezed out, and a couple of drivers have had to spin to take avoiding action. No, wait, that's not Ginchard. It's somebody else that's had the moment, but the two other karts in position. Unfortunately, the darkness of the night time make it very difficult to pick out the driver from a distance. So I haven't really got a handle on who those drivers were. But Joe Taylor leads the way. Oh, and a battle for third position as Rowledge comes through. Now that is definitely the 44 that has spun around. Unfortunately, that is game over for two more drivers. Behrman is off. Behrman is off, and gone with is the 61, I think. So several drivers in dire jeopardy. Trying to figure out who else has gone in there. That was the 61, I think. that's gone in with. Now, I didn't think there was a 61. We've had a couple more drivers. The 44 is still stationary up at the run to Ashby. Now that is the 44 of, oh goodness me, it's been a very tough one. Bowen Kent in proper difficulties there. So still a good battle as they come their way through to the far side. But out in front, it is the O-plate of Axel Laflamme going for the victory that he needs to finish off his season in fine style. There's the move on the inside, a nice bit of battling there from Max Meir as he gets up the inside and takes off another position from Dan Ginchard. So it's Axel Laflamme who leads the way. Joe Taylor in second place from Josh Rowledge, Tom Leben, Travis Mitchell and Ivan Lomliev. Then Will Ellswood in 7th place. Caden McQueen is 8th from Sam Hawthorne and Darryl Taylor. Alex Lay, and then Max Meir from Dan Ginchard, Tom Mills, Josh Torpey, Ben Wood, Jensen Watts, Casper Scusa, Scott Sumpton and Vishal Patel, just a whisker in front of Carly Atkins. But there have been a few drivers who have ended up right down at the tail end. Unfortunately, we've lost the likes of Oliver Behrman, James Laby's in trouble, Bowen Kent. I think also Charlie Field was caught up in the mix there. Ben Jenkins is down the order. So quite a few drivers ending up in some difficulties. But Axel Laflamme leads the way from Joseph Taylor, and then Josh Rowledge in 3rd. 4th position, Tom Leben. Watch Leben go for it. He is an absolutely wildfire in terms of his overtaking moves today. And here comes another one. Here goes Leben. Boom! Launches another one straight up the inside there at Christmas. It's been wonderful watching Leben unleash those big guns over the course of the night. Leben's been absolutely the king of overtakes in Junior X30 today. Absolutely terrific. He's never quite been in a position to take the victory, but he's definitely been one of the top drivers for getting the good moves. Bowen Kent and looks like Oliver Behrman as well getting warnings for track limits, but both of them are trying to recover from their positions as Caden McQueen launches up the inside of Will Ellswood and gets through into 7th place. So McQueen still pushing hard in 7th. So he's going to try and make up some time. 7th place will more than be enough to get the title won. He doesn't have to score any points in particular, does Caden McQueen. He just has to avoid getting an exclusion from the meeting, and that will be enough. Axel Laflamme still pushing hard to win the race. That's the most he can do as McQueen goes for the inside line and takes the place for Max Meir, and there's not going to be a lot of room to play with. Oh no, wait, that's not Meir, that is Lomliev. So Lomliev has ended up running wide, and McQueen, Ellswood and Darryl Taylor, I think, have all managed to get through. So a bit of a moment there, unfortunately, for Lomliev, again, having stepped up to X30 Junior from Mini X30. So a really exciting battle as they come across the line once again. Axel Laflamme doing a good job in front of Joseph Taylor, and then Josh Rowledge in 3rd position. Tom Leben in 4th from Travis Mitchell in P5 from Caden McQueen. Then it is Ellswood, Darryl Taylor, Sam Hawthorne and Ivan Lomliev. And then we've got Alex Lay and Travis Mitchell. No, my apologies, it's Thomas Mill who is there in 12th position. Travis Mitchell is still in P5, being caught by that man, Caden McQueen, with Will Ellswood coming along for battle in 6th and 7th place. They come onto the back straight. Still an open playing field in this one as Axel Laflamme continues with 3 minutes and 22 plus the additional lap on the clock. McQueen is still looking good to seal the title in fine form. Not done anything to get him in front of the stewards from what I can see. So that is absolutely fine and dandy. As it stands provisionally, Caden McQueen, he sets the fastest lap of the race just to rub it in. But Josh Rowledge is under some pressure now from Tom Leben, because Rowledge has got back through into 3rd position. And now Rowledge is going to try and take on Joe Taylor. This could be interesting, as Rowledge is back in his first meeting after a mid-season pause to his campaign. And now Rowledge goes up the inside for 2nd position, and Leben's going to get through on the inside again for 3rd. So Joe Taylor squeezed down into 4th position as first Rowledge and then Leben get the move. And that has pretty much sealed the deal for Axel Laflamme, hasn't it? And now Caden McQueen launches one on the inside of Travis Mitchell. Big move there from Caden. That was a sweet bit of overtaking on the Sister Madcrock kart. Absolutely brilliant into the final couple of corners of the lap. And that's how good Caden McQueen has been over the course of the season. Now here comes Will Ellswood. He's going to get the move on Mitchell. He's going to leave it a bit later, but there's enough room to get it done. Nicely done there from Will Ellswood. So now McQueen has moved his way up to 5th position. Ellswood has got up to 6th place. Sam Hawthorne is just in behind Travis Mitchell with Daryl Taylor and Ivan Lomliev ahead of Tom Mills and Dan Ginchard. Alex Leigh 13th from Mir, Ward, Torpy, Patel, Watts, Alicia Barrett and Carly Atkins. Track limit warning this time for Axel Laflamme, but he's out in front of the race and he doesn't have a massive pressure cooker to deal with at the moment, so he's just continuing on the pace. Rowledge is hoping that Levin and Taylor will work with him. They've all set personal bests, including McQueen as well. Rowledge has set the fastest lap of the race and has got the gap back to Axel Laflamme down to 7/10. So if Rowledge can just step up the attack again and keep pushing on, there's a chance he can get right back on terms with Axel Laflamme again. Into the hairpin. Back onto the power once again, through the left-hander into Wilkins, back down the drop into Oziers. It's like Rowledge has never been away. And in behind him, Tom Levin is definitely still threatening. He's already overtaken him once tonight. He can do it again, but if they continue to charge after Axel Laflamme, he could open up the taps enough to go for the win if they manage to close up on Laflamme at the right moment. Laflamme across the line, the gap down to 0.6 of a second between him and Josh Rowledge now. So Rowledge still pushing, and we might just get enough in for 3 laps to go. 46 seconds for the fastest lap. 46 dead for Joe Taylor. So I reckon we've got 3 laps to go, not 2 laps to go. There is still time to catch Laflamme. They know it. So Rowledge, Levin and Taylor still working in unison. McQueen behind them by a few lengths, but he doesn't have to get involved in that battle. He doesn't need to. His interest is for the title. And that's already sorted as far as he's concerned. So Laflamme is in the lead, but Rowledge, Levin and Taylor want to get closer to him with 2 laps to go at the end of this one. Here they come. Rowledge and Levin working together in unison, pushing hard onto the back of Axel Laflamme. Can they catch him? It's half a second. They've got the gap down again. A really good battle towards the end of this race. It's still pushing on for good gusto. Rowledge pushing hard. Levin going with him. Joe Taylor still in the mix for 4th, and Caden McQueen is a second behind them. So, can they catch Axel Laflamme? Half a second is the gap. If Laflamme makes 1 error, if Rowledge and Levin step up their cooperation, there is going to be an almighty victory fight on the last lap. And if anybody's going to go for that gap, it is going to be Josh Rowledge. He loves to go for the move. So he's going to have made up a little bit more time on Axel Laflamme, but will it be enough to challenge for the victory, or has Axel Laflamme got this one in the bag? A victory is what he needs to have any chance at all. The fastest lap of his race for Josh Rowledge, 0.37 now the deficit to Laflamme. I'm not sure it's going to be enough to go for the victory though. He's going to try every trick in the book he possibly can to come out of Christmas. He's close to Laflamme, but I'm not sure he's going to be close enough by the time they get to a big overtaking point. So Rowledge has just got to measure it. Levin is close in though. Levin might steal second before Rowledge steals first from Axel Laflamme. Rowledge has run deep. And is that going to be enough for Levin to try and go for an overtaking opportunity? He ran a little bit wide. I think Laflamme has got the victory. Well done. Levin's going to try and get this second position off of Rowledge. Watch out for Taylor around the outside. But Axel Laflamme takes the victory here at Whilton Mill and finishes his season in victorious style. Rowledge second from Levin, Taylor, and the new champion of Whilton Mill for Junior X30, Caden McQueen. A brilliant end to the season. Will Ellswood is 6th from Sam Hawthorne, and then Travis Mitchell, Daryl Taylor and Ivan Lomliev rounding out the top 10 from Tom Mills and Dan Ginchard. 2 new names to the field then, in Lomliev in 10th and Ginchard in 12th. Look out for them next year. They're going to be big. McQueen and Laflamme congratulate each other. Axel Laflamme is the last winner of the season, but the new champion is Caden McQueen. What a fantastic end to the season. A really good bit of racing. And a brilliant year for the Whilton Mill Kart Club. Long may it continue, and especially as the new era of karting goes into 2019, it's great to see that the karting clubs are still giving us great shows, particularly here at Whilton Mill. You've got to remember that no matter how good a racing driver you are, no matter how good a kart driver you are going to be, without the clubs, you can't be a national champion. So to win the national championship, you've got to win a club championship. And it's good to see that these guys are still giving 110% every time they go out. This is the talent pool right here in the karting clubs. And it's been a great end to the season. We've crowned some brilliant champions today. We've had some amazing racing at Whilton Mill. Can we do it all again, please? Well, in January, you certainly can. The new season kicks off for the Whilton Mill Kart Club in 2019. make sure you head over to the website for more details, wiltonmill.co.uk. And there's going to be great action, plenty, in the 2019 motorsport season again. I'm Jake Sanson. A massive thank you from me and everybody at the Alpha Live Productions team and everybody at Whilton Mill Kart Club. It's been an amazing end to the season. Let's do it all again, please, in 2019. Bye for now.